Welcome to Happening Multicultural Festival. My name is Zand, and I'm the poet curator. We recognize that we live and work on traditional indigenous territories. I acknowledge that I'm currently located on the traditional territory of Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and most recently the territory of Mississaugas of the Credit. I wish to express gratitude to Mother Earth for the resources we are using. And I would like to honor all the First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people who have been living on the land since time immemorial. Happening Multicultural Festival is the first and only Toronto festival created by community artists, giving center stage to talent and skills of immigrant, newcomer, and refugee artists. It gives a space to embrace the cultural richness of our city while creating professional development opportunities for artists, as well as offering a platform for organizations to connect and form meaningful collaborations. During our poetry nights, we celebrate poets who, among other things, identify as newcomers, refugees, or immigrants, despite the fact that poetry inhabits many geographical locations and speaks in different languages and accents, literature continues to be the most exclusive of arts and the most resistant against outsiders. And immigrants' linguistic, cultural, and political accents mark them as alien and hence undesirable company or colleague among fellow artists and writers. Our first poet tonight is Leilei Chen, who uses the pen name muo-yee, meaning no translation. She lectures in the Department of English and Film Studies at the University of Alberta and is the author of Re-orienting China, Travel Writing and Cross-Cultural Understanding. She published the Mandarin versions of Margaret Laurence's short stories, the traditional and simplified Chinese versions of Nationalism, a very short introduction. She translates contemporary Chinese ecological writing, women's writings, and poetry. Her translation of poet muo-yee, I have forsaken heaven and earth, but never forsaken you, is a Frontenac House 2023 quartet book.
Hello everyone, my name is Leilei Chen, muo-yee. Muo-yee is my Chinese pen name. I prefer to use it along with my official name, Leilei Chen, as my artist name. And muo-yee means no translation, but I will read some of my translations today. So the first poem was published in the Chro of Poets Anthology 2023. The Word of a Stranger. It's a mystery if making peace is possible in my lifetime. It feels easy to let go, although the wings of my dream still flutter, the love in my heart still warm. I'm a stranger because I wish to stay curious. Displacement is a must. This foreign home is part of the pilgrim of making peace, like the journey to the West, questing for the holy text, devils and monsters obstructing the way, and dark forces towering. But the mirror of turquoise lakes lures, the laughter of creeks invigorates, the finger of rainbow caresses, the mountains and wildflowers are inviting. The desire to conquer ravages our home, sweet home. The peach blossom paradise shatters into pieces of iceberg melting. We flee like helpless beasts, enduring hardships, seeking another home, until finally we all become strangers in a new home. Year after year, nostalgia is the only bloom, like a cut flower, a lonely tree, a transplant surviving in an alien place. I dream metaverse unfolds a peach blossom paradise. There, we're making peace until next lifetime. Then I'm going to read a couple of poems from a chapbook published by Olive Reading Series. It's also 2023. You married well. You married well. A white male professor of English judged my book by its cover, not seeing a woman intellectual's independence, not understanding marriage out of its box. Marriage is an institution. It is also a bond of love, commitment of friendship, camaraderie, cherishing a common past, journey of two persons growing hand in hand, companionship traversing roads and minefields. Marriage reverses gender roles. Only in this sense can you say, you married well. You don't know me, so bite your tongue, professor. The second poem from this chapbook is a translation from Mandarin, originally written by Tang Shi. In the mirror. The details of life, like a curved mirror, transform everyone and everything into reflections, distorted, exaggerated images. We can't see, touch, understand. Things similar, people unfamiliar. Those we think we own have long passed. Those we deem ordinary, treasured in heart. Those we believe virtuous turned out vicious. Those we think eternal have evaporated. Those we believe righteous bear sorrows of wrong choices. Even those we feel proud of erect hurdles, preventing us from pursuing the beauty of the sunset. Where the lamb, fearing Rome, betrayed Father Shepherd's blessing, wandering in the wilderness where fantasy and reality confound. When our hearts become ice, ownership empties, laughter turns to tears. Whom have we become? Nothing moves on. Everything keeps moving on. This, and only this, is life. Unchangeable, unattainable, irredeemable. Switch back to my own poems. Dismissing home. I put DIS in brackets. My birthplace is not my home, where I didn't have a chance to grow. My hometown is not my home, only a temporary living place for one too young to make choices. My country is not my home. It's more a place with a government. My attachment is detached. The office is not my home. It's an arena of survival where I wear a mask and a suit of armor. My house is not my home. Its comfort confines and cripples the wings of freedom. My home is the ode of joy, of kettle corn cracking, the unchained diary, mother-daughter love, friendship, Mongolia, Tibet, Shanxi folk melody, the lover's kisses, the spouse's shoulders. My home includes more laughter and regions. My home include more languages and regions. Rivers, mountains, prairies, wilderness, plateaus, forests, oceans, canyons, ice fields. My home becomes people who love you and whom you love, a place to rest myself and others in peace. Am I proud? Am I proud? Maybe. If not, why do I choose the steepest path, persevere through adversities? Am I proud? I doubt. Fruitful travelers along the journey of learning always seem humble. Am I proud? Yes, I must be. In this civilized world of violence, I have never forsaken poetry. So now I'm going to share a couple of poems from my book, my poetry in translation titled, I have forsaken heaven and earth, but never forsaken you. So this is translated from a contemporary Chinese poet named Ma Hui, who recreates Cangyang Jiacuo's poetry. So Cangyang Jiacuo is the sixth Dalai Lama in Tibet, living in the 17th and 18th century. I wish to find my dreams. So quiet, quieter than sutra chanting. I ride my white deer, the deer leaping lightly like a phantom, steps on the snowflakes, not yet reaching the ground. I go to the mountains afar to find my dreams, only to wake you from your dream. Next one. I am called out of your mouth. On every road in this world, I go backwards to where I come from, like the moon returning to the heart of the lake, and the crane flying toward leisurely clouds. I step into your dream, and then I am called out of your mouth. And then a heavy snowstorm seals everyone's lips. So the next poem, I'm going to start by reading the Chinese original. And then you could probably tell the affinity, let's say, or proximity between the original poem and the English version. 我手捧银碗，拉萨河被一位女子反复斟酌。桃花刚落，我就知道我死得过于荒唐。哪一个忌日不配我复活呢？你有权崇拜我，但你无权拥抱我。大地山河轻得不堪承担，每一滴泪都流向大海。没有了有，有了没有，没有了有了没有，有了没有了有。如何把世上所有的路一次走完？我手捧银碗，拉萨河被一位女子反复斟酌。Now the English version. I held a silver bowl in my hand. Cherry blossoms fell, telling me that my death was absurd. I deserved to be remembered every Memorial Day. You had the right to worship me, but not to embrace me. The ground and mountains and rivers became weak. Every teardrop flowed to the sea. Having nothing and then something. Having something and then nothing. Having nothing and then something and then nothing. Having something and then nothing and then something. How could I walk all the roads in the world at once? As I held a silver bowl in my hand, a woman held the Lhasa River in her mind. The moon is climbing the east mountain. The weeds in my heart wither. Everyday sundries disappear. I empty my mind. Then Holy Mother's face appears. The moon climbs the eastern mountain, leaving no traces of reason. At this moment, the boundless peace is the only thing I cherish. You come like a storm. A lost lover can only be sought in dreams. Lotuses bloom. The world is full of Buddha's smiles. Heaven is changeable, earth too. I look back. Buddha is me. I am you. You come, a storm. I go, a feathery cloud. The parrot won't tell. The peacock of East India comes from the origin of truth. He is good at flying, but not stuck on flying. The parrot of Gumbu Valley comes from a wish to be free of the secular world. He is good at speaking, but not stuck on speaking. This contains profound meaning. The parrot won't tell, let alone the peacock. Thank you for listening.
Our second poet tonight is Chro Zand, a Kurdish-Canadian freelance writer who currently lives in Toronto. She's the author of Chro is My Name, a memoir published in 2021. The book is included in the curriculum of the School of Continuing Studies program at the University of Toronto. She has a diploma in arts and literature and a bachelor's degree in journalism. Chro was born to parents with hearts of gold in Soleimaniye, Kurdistan. She has won an international short story contest. Earlier in Kurdistan, at the age of 16, she received her first award in writing.
Love letter to my father. One evening at sunset, the time when I wanted to return home, to go back to my childhood in Malkandi, Kurdistan, where your shrine is. The time is sunset, while it is drizzling here, where you are pouring down. During the sunset, like a bird in migration, love learn, to fly from cold highland to the east, to your shrine, the place that you were born and birthed. In the land of history, a cradle of civilization, known as Mesopotamia, native land, I learned the love of homeland and its people from you. I arrived at our gate in the world of imagination. I see you welcoming me with your nice gesture and a big hug from heart. I enjoy seeing you in that big joy. I start dancing and heading towards your room. Then suddenly I came across your kleta, a Kurdish word for a man's hut, the symbol of your 70 years strife hung on a glass frame. Your Kurdish outfit, as well as your gold medal of your recognition, is also tagged in a frame without any movement beside your valuable library. Mother is grieving in a black outfit. Home is extinguished of light, and it's silent. It's my first new rose, a Kurdish New Year. Without you, suddenly I stop dancing, and I am coming to visit you. I leave home, I walk on the street that we used to walk on. It takes me to the last station of your journey, everyone's narrow house, the grave in Sirwan cemetery. I wanted to visit you, going back to my childhood, when we used to be pedestrian together. You were always quicker than me, and I catch up with you after running behind you. Father, the only love in my life, the apple of my eyes, my closer friend, my teacher, tell me, how can I forget you? When I look at the mirror, your blood is running through my vein. The beauty mark that you had, I inherited from you. What I identified my last name is the same last name we both carry. When I was not able to express myself, he used to give me a pen to put my feeling in writing. When I am afraid, he showed me how to give up. Get up and look up. You wrote the introduction of my first book, our last picture, last talk. You were holding my hands. My heart is broken, and the sunset of my life approached with your departure. You're my soul, my glory, my best friend, my loving father. You were the first man in my life who held me up in his arm, the first who cuddled me, as if I was the prince of Shari Juani Suleimani. That's the nickname of my beautiful city. I wanted to live in this unique, never-ending love, hoping that I will see you again in a world that could be different from the one we lived, to give you back the love and the comfort that you gave me. Your little princess, Chro. Women, life, freedom. Jin Jian Azadi. This poem for Shina Amini, also known as a Masa Amini. Freedom. Let us commemorate the first day of autumn in memory of Gina and freedom. On the first day of autumn, Gina didn't return. She will not see another autumn. Her mother lit a candle for her 21st, waiting for her beloved girl to come home. She now won't return this fall. She won't. Her soul flies like a butterfly in the sky of Sakis. It flies to Tehran and other cities in Iran. She freed her hair and threw away her hijab. It cascades in every street in the city. They fall like leaves. The women were surprised by this news in Tehran. They left home and went to the street. They threw away their face cover and hijab. All the hijabs fell to the ground. They fell just like the leaf of trees fall in winter. Their hairs flirted up freely moved, waved, freely singing a song for women, life, freedom, Shin, Shian, Azadi. After the police murdered Gina for not wearing the proper hijab, women do not wear a hijab or else. They make their hijab into robes. They restrain, they assassinate. The autumn is called the last autumn of hijab. This fall is called the fall of covers. This season is called the end of totalitarian. This year is called the year of ending the Islamic regime in Iran. The death of lies of politics and religion traitor in the world. This murder is called the birth of an innocent woman. This autumn, Sheena will born again without hijab. This year is called for women, for life, for freedom. Shin, Shian, Azadi. I read this poem in Kurdish. Nostalgia. دووریم لە نیشتیمان بۆم باسکە باسی نیشتیمانم بۆ بکە ئەو شنەبایە کە لە درەختەکەی بەرامبەرەیە باسم لە دارتووەکە بکە باس لە شاخی گۆیژە بکە چ ڕەنگەیەگەنوێنە ئێستا باسی سەر چنار و ڕووباری سیروانم بۆ بکە باسی خەزانەکەم ماڵە پچکۆلەکەم باس لە هزر و هۆشم لە ڕابردووم باسی مناڵی دراوسەکانم بۆ بکە بۆم باسکە بە درێژی گەر ئەوان مریان بیرما بێ Nostalgia. Far away from home, my home. Tell me about my country, about my family, my little home, my thoughts, the Mount of Goisha, the flows of Sechna River, and the childhood of my neighbor. Tell me about them in detail. Tell me if they can remember me. Take away, invader. Take away my land, my home, my clothes, my belonging. Take away my money, my account in the bank. Take away my rights, freedom of speech. Take away my ID. Separate me from my family. Misplace me. You cannot take away my soul, my nationality. I will remain Kurd. Your mother's tongue. Have you ever experienced your mother's tongue forbidden to study? Your language instructor murdered? You couldn't write the alphabet of your language? Your classmate imprisoned because he wrote a poem in the language. You couldn't listen to your country music. Your New Year celebration is inhibited. Your culture clothes is prohibited to wear. Have you witnessed your nation's genocide? You didn't have freedom of speech to say it all. If you haven't, I wish you want. You lived in the world different from my world, hard to understand when I come from. The lie of love. I'm not regretful. My mistakes won't define me. I learn from them. I learn. Half full, half empty glass. Nothing in the middle. A pencil inside a glass of water looks crooked in the middle. You cannot change. You have to take it out to see it straight. When you get hit, you're not loved. You have to leave. There is no other way. In the moonlight, the moon made its face and its beauty inspired me. It became brighter and brighter, closer and closer. The closer we drove to the city, the more our fears diminish and the moon appears brighter and closer in the moonlight. My heart was filled with a song, long and low. My thoughts took me home. There was a country in my poetry, in my world, and my heart. I call it home. Poem in Kurdish. لمانگ شودا مانگ روی خوی درخست جانیەکانی ئیلهام بەخش بوون بۆم هێدی هێدی گەش و گەشتر ئەبوو نزیک و نزیکترە بۆەوە تا زیاتر لە شار نزیکە بوومەوە ترسەکانم کەمترە بوو مانگ پرشنگدارتر و نزیکترە بوو لە تریفەی مانگەشەوە دەروونم پڕ بوو لە گۆرانیەکی درێژ و بەسۆز هەزر و هۆشم بیرکردنەوەم بردمیەوە بۆ ماڵەوە لە ناو شارۆچکەی هۆنراوەکانمدا لە نێوانی وشەکانمدا لە ناوەندی دڵمدا وشەیەک هەیە هەمیشە پێی ئەڵێم ماڵەوە سلەیمانی.
This brings us to the end of tonight's event. I would like to thank Festival Director Paula Gomez and the team, Paulo Sofia Morales, Alex Osquiano, and all the other team members and volunteers for their hard work and dedication to the community. The festival has 2 online poetry nights this year. These poetry nights, after the first streaming, will stay online for future viewing. There's also an in-person poetry night on May 31st. Check the festival socials for more information. Have a great night.